Bless up, my people. Make sure you like this channel, subscribe to this channel, click the bell for notifications so you can be alerted when this content is coming out, because I got a lot to say and I'm going to say it. I got a lot of experience, strength, and hope, and I'm going to share it. It would be blasphemy for me not to. And so today, I just want to talk about, more allies, recruiting more allies. And as a person who's advocating and fighting for the underdog, check this out. I got to be a squeaky wheel. You got to be a squeaky wheel. You have to be consistent. You have to be consistent. Consistency is the major key. Perseverance versus everything. I said it in a rap. You did. But you have to be consistent. And right now I'm fighting for the underdogs. And I've always been fighting for the underdogs. And shout out to all y'all that's been fighting for the underdogs. You feel me? Because it's hard work. And this is one of the pieces of advice I want to give you. Like, if you're a person that's starting to come into the front, on the front lines, and you're trying to fight for the underdogs, you did, fighting for health equity, fighting for justice, I need you to know you need to be consistent. But you also got to understand that everybody ain't going to like you. You feel me? That's one thing that I had to deal with, because like in recovery, what I learned was that, people pleasing was one of my character defects. And I would always want people to like me, and it would bother me when people didn't like me. You feel me? It would really, really bother me, and it would interrupt my peace. But what I had to learn over time, and shout out for the coaching, right, that I've had over the years, you dig? Shout out to CoThink for providing that coach that I had with Coach Diversity. Shout out to Just Leadership USA, you dig what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of growth that happened with Change Agent Cooper since 2020. You dig? In 2020, there was a lot of growth for me. There was some times I had to hold people accountable. There were some people that did me dirty, you heard? And what I ended up having to do was I had to continue to lean on my coach and lean on my sponsor, my Celebrate Recovery sponsor, and my support network to survive the character defect of people pleasing. And so today I'm talking about people pleasing, because you cannot, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're trying to be an advocate, an activist that's fighting for the underdog, you cannot afford, watch this, you cannot afford to be a people pleaser, because you're going to step on people's toes. You have to step on people's toes. You have to consistently say what needs to be said. You have to consistently be the voice. You have to consistently be the voice for that single mom that has a young man living in her household that's in need of mentorship and coaching and positive male role model. You have to be the voice for her when she ain't in the room, homie. You got to be the voice for her. And you got to step on people's toes. You got to make sure they hear her voice. You got to make sure it's up to you. And there's some people in the room that could give a damn about her voice. It's some people in the room that could care less about equity, because it ain't impacting them, you dig? It hasn't affected them. It hasn't hit their front doorstep yet, you dig? And so they could care less. They could care less because when they come back to the community, they don't see people that look like that. When they go to church, they don't see people that look like that. When they go to the gym, they don't see people that look like that. And they don't go to recovery meetings anyway. So when they clock out, they don't got to see the underdog. They go back to their nice neighborhoods. But you see, for the people that's close to the problem, a wise man told me, if you close to the problem, you close to the solution, you dig? And that's what we got to do, is continue to be the voice of that person that's not in the room. And so, on the topic of people pleasing, let me tell you something, homie. You can't afford to be no people pleaser if you're doing this work. You can't. You can't afford to be wanting everybody to like you, because they're not. They're not. They might like you in the beginning. They might like you in the beginning, and then they get you in the room at the table, and then you end up having to call something out. And they like pipe down a little bit, homie, or like you need to don't say that ain't the way that you say. No, fight for the underdog. Even in boxing, there's good sportsmanship, but they hit hard. They hit hard. They don't be like, at the end of the fight, like, good fight, you hit me a little too hard in that one round, though. Nah, it's a fight. It's a fight for equity, you heard? And it's hard. And that's why it's important for you. Ooh, help me, Holy Ghost. You see how the Holy Ghost dropped that in my spirit? Just like it is in boxing, when they go back to the corner, you dig, and they get with their trainer, the cut man, and they end up, and they're talking, and they get in the cut, and they putting that Vaseline or whatever on their face, getting them ready to go back out there in the fight. That's why it's important. Just like I was talking about how I was getting with my sponsor and how I was getting with my coaches during this time. That's why it's so important for you to make sure you got a support network while you do this work. You can't do this work on your own, homie. You won't last. You will not last in this work If you think you can do it by yourself, you're not that special, homie. You cannot do this work by yourself. This work ain't to be done. This ain't no one-man show. You can't do it like that. And that people pleasing is a character defect. And there are other character defects that can creep up. There are other character defects that can creep up in your situation that will dampen the fire. That'll mess around and ruin your whole reputation. Then you can't do the work without somebody hating on you. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm telling y'all this right now for those of you who are looking to activate and advocate for the underdogs. Because like right now, they wanted to talk about equity and Black Lives Matter and all that stuff like that when it was trending. You know, I just wasn't screaming Black Lives Matter at the same time as everybody else. I was living Black Lives Matter. I was showing up at the protests. I was still calling out systems, but I didn't feel like I had to be like, you know what I'm saying? Because some people was trying to hijack the movement, and I ain't even got time for that. We live that. It's some of us that's been living this life of advocacy before it was safe. You dig what I'm saying? And so today I just want to let you know, as we approach 7 minutes, like if you trying to get into this work and you ready to fight for the underdogs, you sick of seeing some things, how it negatively impacts a certain people, and you're noticing the oppression on a certain people, and you're sick of it, you're tired of it, and you want to do something about it, I'm talking to you. When you get to doing something about it, when you get to getting active, I need you to understand you can't afford to be a people pleaser, because there are some people that's not gonna like you. There are some people that is not gonna like you. Some people have been benefiting from somebody else's oppression, and they're going to get upset when you call it out. And it's fine. That's why it's important for you to get with the warriors. They are on a similar mission with similar passions and the same values. That's how you last in this work. The joy of the Lord is my strength. When I'm popping off, I might seem like I'm angry. I probably am. But you can be angry and have the joy of the Lord. My name is Shane J.J. Cooper. I'm not the answer, but I'm for damn sure the alternative.